Susan Davis will now come up and start her opening 3-minute statement.
Thank you.
Susan?
Thank you, and I want to thank all of you for being here. I know how important this is, and so thank you to League, to Common Cause for holding this forum. Many years ago, I actually organized these as well, so I'm very close to League and the issues that they work so hard for. And I also want to thank Mike, because we just had a conversation earlier about, you know, this is tough putting yourself out there, and as one who's been through a number of tough elections, I really appreciate that. And the fact that people are energized and excited is very important to both of us, I can assure you. I've had the honor and the privilege to represent the 53rd District now in Congress for the past 8 years. And during that time, I've used my experience first as a wife, and my husband Steve is here in the audience, as a mother, as now a grandmother, as a board member on the Board of Education here, as a mentor of young people, as a state legislature, and now as a Congress member. And I think it's the diversity of the district, it's the ideals which we all fight so hard for, of our party, for justice and fairness, equality. Those are the things that drive me and make me so honored, really, to have this opportunity. I know that now and then we don't always agree on everything, and that's natural. I would expect that. But I also think that it's important to listen to one another's perspectives and to try and understand. For those of us who are always having to look at both sides of the issue, I learned that from the League of Women Voters, because I did pro-con all the time. It's important to be able to do that. And I think, you know, we develop that respect, and that's a good thing, and I really appreciate it. I fly home most weekends. We've served over 240,000 constituent requests in the district, and I'm very proud of my staff, who does such a great job in working with all the constituents on the toughest problems. We deal with the problem after no one's been able to solve it. That's when people come to our office. When I was first elected to Congress in 2000, we were a country at peace. Our economy was strong. We all know what happened after that. Bush was elected, and a number of decisions that were made, and our country, unfortunately, has had to deal with wrong-headed policies all the way through, and I can't wait until that changes for our country. My priorities have been to address those misguided policies and to instead address the policies that I think move us forward. As you know, when President Bush made the case for war, I said no and voted against the war. When he came to Congress, urging us to get rid of deadlines, I said no, that we had to move forward, we had to try and establish some conditions. Those are important issues to me. As the chair of the Personnel Committee now, I have advocated for non-discrimination in the military against women, against gays and lesbians, and making certain that our families who sacrifice so much, that they are well taken care of, and I will continue to do that as well. I'd like the military to show the way for the entire country that we can address these issues. My goals of education, the environment, health care, we're talking about all those in the future. Thank you all again for being here.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you. It's an honor to be here this afternoon. Thank you, our hosts, moderators, Common Cause, and the League of Women Voters. I was raised in Seattle. My father's a doctor at the county hospital, and my mom has given 30 years of service to the League of Women Voters. I'm a Stanford and Harvard educated microbiologist. I now use my science background to assist in the prosecution of corporate fraud. I believe that Representative Davis is a fine person, and over her 4 terms has done her best. So why, would you ask, why would anyone challenge her? In my judgment, Representative Davis has failed to respond to the urgency of an economic, military, and constitutional crisis. When we needed her to stand up, she stood down. We've been deceived into a war of aggression. We've seen secrecy, signing statements, warrantless surveillance, and torture become national policy. Even habeas corpus has been suspended. These offenses strike at the heart of democracy and threaten the very rule of law. And the Iraq occupation remains the crux of this impasse. You know, last year, General William Odom gave Congress some good advice about getting out of Iraq. He said, first, cut off the war funding, and second, put the president on notice that if he dares extort more funding, you will begin impeachment proceedings immediately for the high crime of squandering American soldiers.
Folks,
of squandering the lives of soldiers and Marines. Thank you. And Ms. Davis' constituents implored her to do just that in letters, phone calls, town hall meetings, even flying to her D.C. office. But she did not listen, and has since sided not once but twice with Republicans to fund further war. I think General Odom was right. There are constitutional remedies for an out-of-control executive. Reassert congressional power over the power of the purse, impeachment if warranted. So did Representative Davis stand with Bob Filner to pledge to cut off the president's allowance? No. Did she stand with Bob Filner to co-sponsor an impeachment bill? No. And it's time this district had a Bob Filner Democrat. Here we are today. We have the U.S. troops treated as pawns in Iraq, brinksmanship, the Bill of Rights in tatters, and a president who fears not what Congress does. And those in Congress who helped create this damage should not be entrusted with the repair.
Wow. Okay, folks, please. Okay, we start in alphabetical order, so Mike, you will get the question first. And again, as I say, it's 1 minute answer, and you'll get a 30-second warning, and you both get the same questions. Do you think gays should be allowed to serve openly in the military?
Yes, first let me say I believe in the equality of all under the law. We all deserve equal rights and standings. We're all human beings independent of gender, identity, religion, socioeconomic status. So under that heading, I believe that all people, gay, lesbian, straight, should be able to serve their military and serve in whatever other capacity that they believe. It was of great concern that my incumbent, Ms. Davis, was not in the vanguard to endorse the Don't Repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. In Congress, I would be marching in that vanguard for all of us. Thank you.
Susan?
Thank you. I am a firm supporter of repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I have probably done more than any member of Congress now to insist that whenever there's an opportunity at a hearing to raise this issue, that I do that. I've raised it with generals, I've raised it with troops in the field, I raise it wherever I go, because I think it's important, number one, to listen to people who may have some concerns about it, but also, number two, to do some educating. I believe, as I have heard from people here, the most important thing for leaders in the field is to be honest and upfront with the troops. How can you ask our leaders to do that when, in fact, they may not be allowed to talk about their own home situation and their own families? We are better served. We will use our treasure in this country when we can arrive at the place. And I believe that we are doing that. Younger generations have far fewer problems with this than older generations. We will change that. I will do that as the personnel head of our committee, and I will work hard to get that through the Congress.
Okay. Susan, what is your position on reproductive rights?
My position on reproductive rights has always been that women should have the ability to make those determinations for themselves, with their family, with their physicians, with their clergy, whoever that may be. The one place that I do not think either party belongs is in a person's home, in their bedroom, and trampling on their private rights. That is a sacred right. Women should have it, and I certainly hope that there will be no time in this country when that changes.
Mike?
Yes, I'm a strong supporter of reproductive rights. I am pro-choice. It is very important that our federal government stay out of our decisions about who we marry, they stay out of decisions about our bodies and our health. I will stand up to defend that right, and I think we need more men in Congress to take a vocal lead to standing up for pro-choice. Thank you.